What's going on? We are live. It's your man Jose, aka the Dominican Dream, alongside
You already know it's your boy, the Maniac.
and also Rafael for the boxing roundtable, and we are ready to talk boxing. Coming off one of the most anticipated fights of the year, um, Arthur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, East versus East, Russia versus Russia, or Kyrgyzstan versus Russia, however you will. Let's get right to it. You know, we don't play around here. I predicted that the fight wasn't gonna be that good. Wasn't that good. It was a solid fight at best. Definitely not for the hype that the hardcore fans were trying to give it. Sorry about the music, man. I'm live, guys, right from the street. For the for the hype that the fans were trying to give it, it definitely wasn't a bombs away kind of fight. It was a solid fight at best. It was a solid fight if you are a hardcore. If you're not a hardcore, is a fight that you would have probably turned off. So it wasn't a great fight. Now, as far as what happened in the ring, I thought Bivol won clearly. I thought he won clearly. I don't like his style. I'm repeating it. I like Beterbiev style, but Beterbiev, he just looked like I said he would look before the fight. Man, didn't throw enough punches. He was waiting, throwing a lot of arm punches. Never really significantly hurt Bivol. He don't got it no more, man. I thought Bivol won the fight. I thought he outboxed him. He landed the better punches, and it was a bit upsetting to see that outcome. And I think most of the majority of the fans are saying that Bivol won the fight, but not a fight to remember. Not even a decision to remember. We've seen fights more controversial than this, but this was definitely, I believe, a Bivol victory.
All right. Go ahead, Ralphie, because I know you wanted to make a point. Go ahead. Unmute. You're muted. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, to say that it was a robbery is a pretty strong stance considering what we've seen. We've seen like really nasty stuff in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, like really bad. This was a really close fight, honestly. And I think probably people get clouded based on their expectations of the fight because Beterbiev is such a heavy hitter. He has so much pressure as soon as he's mowing you down. And you also got to look at that Bivol is very good on his feet. He has that in and out awkward style, which people can't really get his timing down, and it's very difficult for you to get that. I think I don't necessarily cannot say that Better Beef doesn't have it anymore. I think it is a matter of him being having a long layoff because of the surgery. Because this fight was supposed to be in June. Number one, his last fight, he got hurt. I think in the his last fight to that was in December, and he had that jaw infection because of the surgery on his teeth and stuff. So this thing's catapult. On top of that, that he's 39, almost 40 years old. You know, it's very difficult for just us to kind of say that the guy is pretty much done. I had it a draw, honestly, but I would have to rewatch that fight over because when I was going into the seventh round and I was looking the scorecards and I was like, nah, I think they're being a little bit too biased. And I believe I was watching it on the zone, and the zone tends to like Chris Mannix, he tends to have like really bad scorecards. So I kept kind of that in the back of my mind. I don't mind seeing 7-5 better BF, but the 8-4, I think that's a little bit too far of a stretch.
Yeah.
I would have to watch that fight all over again in order for
Ask
me
you
to score it.
ask you something that Max. I'm gonna ask you something that Max Kellerman used to always ask, and that's a good way to score fights, to score rounds. In this fight, who would you have rather been?
Not all the rounds, not all the rounds,
In
Bevo.
no no in this
Can
fight,
I can I
in this
can I
fight,
Hey, but
say
who
you
would
have
you
to
have rather win?
admit it.
Who would
can
you
I
have
say
rather been?
I
It
would have
varies.
I would have
It,
rather been Better BF because I was much the aggressor. And
yeah.
whenever Better BF was actually putting pressure on Bebo, he was doing a lot of damage. Bebo was fighting in spurts and fighting in combinations. he wasn't consistent throughout the fight. It was very close. That's why you have to kind of like in and out, and it depends on what you like, because every judge is gonna judge it differently.
I disagree, and I like. Well, you know what I like? I like Beterbiev style, but he didn't implement his style. His style didn't work. He wasn't doing shit. He wasn't
Yes,
landing anything. He
he
wasn't
did.
landing anything significant.
He only got. All right, so go ahead. Look,
You know,
Ralph, you done?
yeah, the fans are commenting now. Again, I like Beterbiev style better. I think he's washed up. I think he lost the fight. I think Bivol, and you know, he's a really honest guy, right? He's a devout Muslim, and he almost wanted to say, "I didn't win the fight. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't look good." He said, "But his God," he said, he said that Allah had him winning today, but he couldn't even really say that because he's pretty honest, and he knew, and like Oscar used to say, you know when you won the fight as a fighter, you know when you lost, and he doesn't feel like a winner today. Let's go to the fans. Serrano, he said 7-5 Beterbiev. Joel Santiago, my little cousin there. Robbery. A man JTR says Beterbiev did more damage. Period.
Yeah. So look, this is the thing, right? And this is it's tough with the sport. I can't. This was a very close fight. I don't know where's the definitive.
But why was it close? Was it close because Beterbiev made it close, or was it close because Bivol, like you said, gave away the last couple rounds?
He gave the last cup first. He gave away those 3 rounds. He's getting pinball through the whole round like this. You gotta understand.
But Beterbiev didn't do shit. He wasn't effective.
It was. They was hitting him. He just
Let's keep it real.
I'm keeping it real. Listen, I'm not saying oh, Beterbiev won this fight, right? But I'm here to say 2 things. This shit wasn't a robbery, bro. I'm watching it closely. I'm telling my wifey, I said this shit is gonna be a draw. One judge had it a draw. Because I saw it, bro. I could see it. People get caught up, like Ralphie, you were saying, beautifully. He fought in spurts. When there was opportunity to take real advantage of Beterbiev, because it was there. It was there for the taking. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Clottey with Cotto. With Clottey, Cotto was there for the taking. He didn't let his hands go. Bivol, in the most crucial moments of this fight, he didn't let his hands go. And the first 2 rounds, Bivol won easily. That shit was not even up for debate. The 3rd round, Beterbiev. 4th round, that shit gets sticky.
Well,
so it's what the judges want, bro. And that's what people forget. And that's why people forget. He was the aggressor. He was coming forward. Now you say he's washed up. If he was washed up,
I think so.
He would win 2 rounds. I'm just telling you. Is he the same fighter that he was 2 years ago? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? He's lost the step.
That's why he was being outboxed the majority of the fight. Was he being outboxed the majority of the fight?
I wouldn't say majority about.
Yes,
it was there. No, he was outboxing him at moments too. Beterbiev. This is a thing.
He started off. I like the way he started off. I said, yo, he looks very calm. Like he has a better game plan than Bivol. But after like the 3rd round, man, it was Bivol all day until the last couple of rounds where he took his foot off the gas. He basically he did what he wanted in that fight to Beterbiev. And believe it or not, there was a fighter that was hurt several times in this fight, and that was Beterbiev.
Not several, maybe once. Like I said, it was there for the taking. I'm telling you, it was there.
And that's what he said when you said the most crucial rounds. When you said the most crucial rounds, they weren't ready. They were crucial to Beterbiev because they told him in the corner, you got to knock him out, and that's what we were seeing at home. That's what his corner was seeing. They told him you got to knock him out. Well, again, that's what. All right, that's what his corner was saying. His corner, his trainer, his people. They say, yo, you got to knock him out. So they were crucial, yes, but they were crucial to Beterbiev. They weren't necessarily crucial for Bivol those last couple. That's why he took him off.
You can't give him a round. De La Hoya, Trinidad. Listen, people act like this shit ain't new. This shit ain't new. This is boxing, bro. This happens in these big fights. You cannot let your foot off the gas. And Bivol did, and he paid for it. Again, I'm not saying he didn't win this fight. I'm not saying there's no way. But when you say robbery, what are you saying? Beterbiev won 3 rounds only?
Yeah,
Because
but
that's
who
the
do you think?
robbery.
I mean,
That's the robbery. Nine
if he won
rounds.
five, if he won five, it's a lot. If he won five, it's a lot.
Nah,
I
he
wouldn't give him more
definitely
than
he
five
won
rounds.
the last
No.
three. So you telling
I
me
wouldn't
he
give him more
didn't
than five.
from 1 to 9? He didn't win 2 rounds.
He was getting schooled, man. He
No,
was
he
getting
won't.
schooled bad.
In
Nah,
spurts. In
so
spurts.
so I think it's fair to say that probably you have to watch it. Not just you, but me as well. Have to
I
watch
don't
the
have
fight.
I don't have to watch fights again. I don't have to watch fights again.
Okay,
The first
so
impression is the first impression is the best impression. You don't have to watch
so
fights again.
so I'll just say this.
Judges don't watch the fight twice. Judges watch the fight one time.
Maniac, you just mentioned something that was very key, and it's pretty much reasserts what I mentioned earlier on my first statement. When you watch the first 4 rounds, you gave the first two to Bivol, and then you were leaning towards Beterbiev in those rounds. Chris Mannix had the first like 5 rounds to Bivol straight,
Absolutely not.
I I I
that's what I
I,
said,
I, I was the
and that's
opposite. I had the first two rounds for Beterbiev. I liked what he
Nah,
was doing early, and then the
nah,
rest of the
in the
rounds I had him
no,
for,
no,
for
beginning, in
no,
the
Bivol.
no,
round,
no.
he gotta land it like by
Yeah,
20 punches.
yeah.
Those 2 rounds. Ain't no
Bivol
way
was
he
throwing
won
a
those
lot of
rounds.
combination, was counter punching him. He was doing all the right things. I don't want to say just that he laid off foot off the gas. You guys also have to understand that when you have another guy that is a threat, there is that mental pressure that goes into you. You get mentally exhausted when you have someone in front of you and trying to come after you. Not even if he's not punching, the fact that you have this guy pretty much after you that is a threat of a KO, that's what pretty much makes it look like he's laying off the gas. But in reality, is that you're mentally exhausted get going into those rounds. I could have said that, hey, maybe Beterbiev ran out of gas because in the 11th round, I thought he had a chance to potentially drop Bivol, and I felt like he got gassed a little bit. So I think those are all components of him practically, like Dream said, coming up in age, combination of inactivity, and on top of that, coming off that injury. Because remember, Bivol on his last fight really looked really good. His last 2 fights have been way more active. And he is the higher profile fighter when you come and think of it, because at the end of the day, he has that Canelo win, it has that Zurdo win. So a lot of people are considering him the favorite because he's a higher profile fighter. But in reality, a lot of the hardcores have Beterbiev, and that's what probably is clouding a lot of the people's judgment with saying, "Oh, he lost that fight," because we were all expecting the KO. That's probably it. I mean, that's my
Ma-
honest opinion.
Macho Contreras, hi brothers.
Macho.
Man, Macho, I think that's my cousin right there, man. What en español, si usted quiere, puede comentar. You could comment in Spanish if you like.
So
JTR 311. I think that's my man JR Spliff. Much love, Boxing Roundtable. Keep up the good work. Good looking out, man. We
JT, my
appreciate that.
brother, salute to you. Yeah, man.
But
I mean,
look, man, I think again, if you wanna, I said it before the fight. I'm saying it after. I like Beterbiev's style. I don't think he was the last 4 fights, including this one, wasn't he wasn't fighting up to his potential. I don't like the Bivol style of hurting you and letting you off the hook. I understand it's effective. Yes, it wins fights. That's how he beat Canelo, and I think that's how he beat Beterbiev tonight. I know that, honestly speaking, looking at Beterbiev's body language, what he had to say, the interview, listening to his corner, they knew they were down. They knew better Bivol got the best of him, but yeah, it's not a fight to remember, but it's a decision that's going to be the decision is going to be more talked about than the fight.
yeah. I mean, first, it was a good scrap. It was a good fight. Not a classic, not a fight of the year candidate. It wasn't trash. It wasn't average. It was above that. It was skill. It was a highly skilled fight. Like, you got to
It was
remember
scale, but it
something.
was still average. It was
Yeah,
scale, but it was
nah,
still
it
average.
was above average because there was more skill in there. And you got to remember, Bivol is one of the best movers in boxing, period. Right? There was times that he did stand there and trade, but he moved a lot and he got good boxing. So those styles normally is not gonna make for great fight.
If this was late, if this was late Maniac, you would have went to sleep.
Nah, not me. I was excited because of the high profile fight. Trust me, these
For
two
a high
guys.
profile fight, especially, it was
Yeah, it's
okay.
not all right, Dream. I get it, but you
It's
gotta
okay.
understand too. It's not a classic. I get it. All right, for you, not for everybody else. You can't speak for everybody.
For many people though.
Nah, I didn't hear
I'm seeing it on
nobody say
X.
nothing about the fight. All they
I'm
talking
hearing on
about
X.
robbery. That's all I hear. That's all I'm
Well,
Yeah,
hearing.
but
Robbery.
I've
I
seen
ain't hear
people
nothing
talk
about
about
the
the fight.
fight. It was a good
I still
scrap. Ralphie, what you thought of the fight? Honestly, what you thought of the fight?
I thought it was a good fight. I think
Yeah.
it delivered. I think a lot of people were
Oh,
expecting
I
like
definitely want to say that.
yeah, I thought it delivered because you have two styles, just as Maniac is saying. You have two styles that aren't gonna particularly fit in the glove. Like, Bebo is not a bum. He knows how to move. He has a very awkward style. And
One of the
Beterbiev
best in
is
boxing
That-
is
is
people.
even the commentator said it. Bradley was like, it wasn't what I expected, but it was alright.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but
You know.
it's
my thing is I don't understand what people expect when they say like, oh, it's not what I expect. What they thought that someone was gonna go down three times and the other guy's
yeah.
just gonna go
It was
two.
gonna be
It was
two
gonna
Well,
be a
Mexicans
it was
with
gonna be
with
a
with
whole.
come on.
with the style of Beterbiev, a lot of people were expecting that. Yes, with the 20-0, 20 knockouts.
Yeah, but better beats movement. You
My
gotta
man, right
Yeah,
here,
understand Bivol.
your official realtor. I was rooting for Beterbiev. Bivol 7-5 or 8-4. Bivol didn't definitely close the show, but deserved the nod. He boxed beautifully.
Okay. I mean,
yeah,
listen,
and yeah, and this
th-
good if you have that opinion as well. I thought it was
those
I
a
are
agree.
close
That's
fight.
I agree with
Yeah,
Joel there. I mean, that's I was rooting for better. I mean, I wanted Beterbiev to win from the gate,
I
but as I'm
didn't
watching the fight, I said I don't like. I don't. Yeah, I can't be honest. I can't be honest and say that now when you score the fight, technically, like the Maniac is gonna say, boxing round by round, and the him taking the rounds off, yeah, that's gonna affect the decision. That could definitely affect the decision. But as far as who did better to the other, absolutely, there's no question that Bivol did
I
what he
think
wanted
it
to
look
most of the fight.
the reason why it looked is in moments. Look at those rounds, right? And one thing I noticed, I was watching it on the ESPN portion,
Me
Ralphie.
too.
You said the zone. So I was listening to Bradley and what's my man's name? Bernardo Suna. And this is one, and this used to happen in HBO all the time. Bro, there was rounds where Better Beef landed the more effective punches, but they showing the Bevo while he landed. And I'm like, yo, bro, okay, he landed a good jab there, but show those that two-punch combination. So what are we doing? This is boxing. I already know how this sport works. Like you said it too, Ralphie. We just seen way 10 times more atrocious than this, and we will continue to see it. When you in
yeah.
fights of this magnitude, you have to close out. We've seen it before, and this is what it is. Now, you know, say I can't tell nobody if they feel it was a robbery, then that's your opinion. I can't tell you what to think, what not to think. But what I'm saying is this: I looked at it closely. And I'm telling you, a draw. That 8-4 for Better Beef, I think that's a stretch. Like, I don't
Yeah.
agree with 8-4 for Better Beef. I don't think
And
he won
and that's
eight rounds. I don't
and
think he
that
won 8 rounds.
and that would be a robbery because in other fights you have mentioned how it could have been close, but 8-4 is a robbery scorecard. Now, Macho Contreras says, señores, el boxeo está mal y nosotros los fanáticos somos los más afectados. Estas decisiones nos quitan el deseo de ver este gran deporte. That means, ladies and gentlemen, people where boxing is bad, and us, the fans, are the most affected.
Affected.
These decisions give us the
Keep them. Take away.
they take away our desire
For
to
the
watch
sport.
this great sport.
So I'll give you guys this take real quick, and this is gonna shift away pretty much from this fight a little bit. So the the Pitbull Cruz and what's this last fight?
Rayo.
Rayo fight. I watched it live, and then I
Yeah, you
watched it
was
on
there.
video, and I watched it again. I scored it clearly for Rayo. If you hear the commentary, on the Spanish commentary, they have Pitbull. It was like, oh my God, now I thought Pitbull won. He was the more effective aggressor. He was
Those are the
doing,
only those are the only clowns in the world that had it like that, because the world saw him lose 10-2.
but that's and the judges had it a
But
split
remember,
decision.
when you say that, when you say the Spanish commentary, okay, this is what you got to know about Spanish commentary when it comes to Mexican fighters and Mexican. If you're not watching the fight and you're listening to like they used to on the radio, like they said here, yo, the Mexicans, it's the bias of the Mexican commentators when a Mexican fighter is fighting or their fighter is just so. That's saying that Pitbull won the fight. That's in no universe is that's a bad example, because that's an extreme bias there.
Yeah.
That's extreme.
But
Yeah.
to say, right, look, we know that. I agree with that one, right? But one judge had it for Pitbull. And again, this is why I tell people a fight's supposed to be judged on ring generalship, defense, clear punching, and what's the last one? Ring generalship.
Effective aggressiveness.
Effective aggressive. There you go. That's the last one. A lot of these judges do not judge a fight based on the criteria of the
So
round.
say that again. Ring generalship,
Yeah,
effective aggressiveness, clean punching,
yeah,
and
defense.
and so in all those, on all those, honestly speaking, all of them, including effective Bivol won the fight.
Nah, but he wasn't aggressive. Beterbiev was on the front foot coming
Better
forward.
be was
Yeah,
aggressive.
he wasn't throwing punches. He wasn't throwing any punches.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing a lot of punches.
he
I
was.
agree, but he was still
wasn't throwing a lot
the
of punches.
aggressor. It was Bivol on his back foot. the whole
And it wasn't effective. That's why the effective aggressiveness was Bivol. The clean punching was Bivol. The ring generalship absolutely was Bivol, and the defense, of course, was Bivol.
Yeah, but he only outlanded.
And let's say,
so
let's
how
say,
can you really say the
yeah,
defense?
yeah, because the punches that you're talking about is this shit right here that I told you Beterbiev was doing in the last couple of fights. They're gonna count that if you move your thing. He's not doing this shit. He's not doing what Bivol was doing to that nigga. He's throwing. That's that. I'm not counting that shit. Just like Mayweather, they used to count. If Mayweather winked at you, the CompuBox would note that
Now, listen,
pity pat
some of
shit.
the
I'm not
Listen.
I'm not counting pity pat. He
Listen,
was throwing a lot of. Those weren't even punches, bro. To be honest with you.
Listen, he only outlanded him by 4 punches. Why defense? There was really no defense.
All right,
there.
so since you say that you're not saying that Beterbiev won the fight. So then what did
it could have gone a draw? I had it like a draw, man. It was a real close fight, man.
Yeah,
I think Beterbiev closed at the right time, and he took those 3 rounds, and that 115, 113. I think that is a good scorecard for either way. That's 7-5. So basically, to me, that judge had it 4-5 for Bivol. And Beterbiev swept those 3 rounds, and that's why.
So when you look at the altogether scorecard, right? The altogether scorecard and one judge had it 8-4. Was that scorecard was the fight a robbery?
On one card,
but the other 2 are draws 7-5. It's not. We've seen scores where 3 judges have it.
Yeah, but a robbery. But it don't matter. It don't matter if
judge, bro. It's always one judge.
Yeah, it don't matter.
That's a bad call. I agree.
It
but
don't.
The other judge had it pretty fair.
Yeah, but it don't matter if I steal 5 cents from you, or I steal $800 I stole from you.
Yeah. But if me and Ralphie go to your house and I only steal from you, then he's not the thief. That's just me. So he can't.
He rolling with you, man. He getting it. Why you bring the Ralphie? Why you bring the Maniac? Why you bring with it? You know what I'm saying? Nah, but yeah, look. All jokes aside, I mean, all points are respectable. Round by round, I agree with y'all too. Round by round. Now, effectiveness of who did what they wanted to do more in the fight. listen, it's undeniable that Bivol did what he wanted to do most of this fight.
I think Dream. I think when you look at the fight, right, it appeared that way because he fought in spots, and when he did fight in spots, he looked good. Like Bivol will rip off combination. Ba 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 ba. I'm like, yo, shit. Bivol cook. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching it, and I'm going with Beterbiev, but I'm still looking at it as a fair fan. And seeing it, and I'm like, I already knew it was controversy. I knew it was gonna be. I told my wife, I said, this shit gonna be a draw. And I said, if anything, Bivol, if anything, me, I would slightly have Bivol winning this fight. But as far as robbery, you say, oh, there's no way Beterbiev won this fight, then I think that's the stretch there. Right? But if I had to, go ahead.
With that said, after seeing this, would you want to see a rematch, or would you want to see the winner versus the winner of Benavidez versus Morel?
Yeah, I want the Morel. Listen, first, this is what I'm gonna say. I do like, all right, what Dream said. I do agree. I do agree to a certain degree. Yes, Bivol, he needs to, he maybe got one or two the most. After that, he got
Beterbiev, you mean?
Beterbiev, on you. I keep getting these dudes confused. Beterbiev. So being that now he's undisputed, I'd rather, if he's smart, if his team, I wouldn't even entertain a rematch with Bivol because that's a bad style matchup for him. Give me the win of Benavidez Morel. These guys are smaller and nowhere near as skilled as Bivol is, and those two fighters are gonna try to fight Beterbiev, especially Benavidez. He's gonna try to bring it to Beterbiev. So if I'm Beterbiev, I'm looking for the winner of Morel and Benavidez, and then depending how that fight goes, if I win, I look good, I'll rematch Bivol and retire, win or lose, and call it a day.
Macho Contreras says Beterbiev cerró bien, pero perdió el último round y ya Bivol tenía la pelea en el bolsillo. Beterbiev closed well, but he lost the last round, and Bivol already had the
fight in
the bag. So, yeah, I do. That round was close, but I do favor probably Bivol. He did the better work. Look, as far as what's next, yeah, I think they're gonna have a rematch given the nature of the decision, given the nature of the controversy that's gonna be that's gonna be floating around now after the fight. But yeah, Bivol is in a good style for Beterbiev right now, especially Bivol can duplicate that performance. Beterbiev can only do worse.
I agree. That I agree with. I think that's why I said you don't rematch Bivol. You go get the win of Benny Morel because that's
Raul Rodriguez says I got Benavidez over, I guess, Beterbiev, and I agree.
It happened. I'm not saying no.
And Benavidez he's not there to win decisions. I know he won the decisions against Vazdik. Different fight, first fight at 175, but look, what they do next, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Bivol, and I think Beterbiev is on his last leg, literally. So I'm not really looking forward to what's next for them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So with that said, can we say that this was the last fight of the year, given that there are more common events, but
mega fight?
They're not high profile fights. We have a few fights coming up. They're just not.
That's it.
Was this the last fight of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Because because this is what I'm telling you. Based on Canelo's rumor to fight in December with Inoue. I don't know how true that is, but Inoue is definitely fighting. He's fighting Sam Goodman. That's not a mega fight. But let's see what Canelo does. But it's looking like Tio's not fighting this year. Yeah. Shakur's not fighting this year. Tank, we know who he's fighting. We did a show on that. Benavidez is fighting next year. So, yeah, as far as a mega fight, I think we're done for the year. I think we get some good scrap, some good fights that we're going to look forward to, but not mega. No.
They're just not look forward events. So, with that said, and I just gotta lighten up the mood a little bit because it seems like there's a lot of tension right now.
No, we
With
having
with
fun.
with with that said,
Nah.
can we honestly say that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney took the fight of the event of the year for this
Yeah,
year? And
yeah,
that's twice in a row. Ryan Garcia
yeah.
involved in the event of the year.
And I was in the building live for that fight, and I'm gonna tell you that energy was. And listen,
Yeah, but
I
when you say event of the year is the correct word. Fight of the year, no.
No, no, not
Fight
fight
of
of
the
the year.
year was
Event of the year.
fight of the
Event of
year
the
was
year.
Ortiz Boachuk.
Yeah, event
or
of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
or right
event of the
now, who
event
else?
of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
year
you could put
because
that there.
last year it was Tank and Ryan, and this year again Ryan and Haney. It was an event, and that's what it was. It was the
No, but that
fucking
fight, but listen, that fight was it was a good fight, man, because it was an
who?
outcome.
What fight was a good fight?
Ryan Haney, based on what we didn't expect, him knocking Haney around. That shit was
I don't know, it
good.
was a good fight. He beat the shit out of Devin Haney. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's a good fight.
But yeah,
Maniac.
that was yeah.
Did
It was
the
a good
dream
one-sided beatdown.
the dream tell you what was my prediction on that fight?
No, I had Haney by a landslide. I
Nah,
said I will.
I had it. I had it Ryan by KO under 7, and people were calling me crazy. They were
I
like,
would have.
"Yo,
I would have called you
you
crazy.
yeah." They were like, "You know so much about boxing," and I was just like, "Listen, man, I just something in me tells me that Haney. I've never given Haney credit. I feel like he's overvalued. Ryan is probably acting crazy. You know, when I had doubt on the weigh-in, I was like, damn, he came in 3 pounds over. He probably is not working out a lot. That's when but I was like, I stuck my pick. But man, it was a surprising event.
Yeah, yeah, but
That's what we gotta say.
getting back, yeah, Ryan is he's a superstar in and out the ring. He's a guy that he pulls in a lot of attention, man. But
He's
getting
a
back to the
Jake
fight at
Paul.
hand, getting back to the fight at hand. I just want to hear y'all closing thoughts. How
Yeah,
did how did y'all have it? Who did y'all really have winning? Me, I had it at least 7-5, at least 7-5. Dimitri Bivol. And yeah, let me hear y'all final takes on what y'all thought what the decision was, and then we're gonna have the video's gonna be up. People are gonna comment. We're gonna go back and forth with them comments, but I'm gonna shut the video
I
down.
had it a draw. In initial watching it, I had it a draw. I thought it could have gone either way. I wouldn't have been mad with 7-5 Bivol, and I'm not mad with seeing 7-5 better Biev. But when that last round the bell rang, I had it 6 rounds to 6 rounds.
yeah. So similar. I looked at my wifey. I said this is going to be a draw. It was close in moments, but I slightly thought Bevo was going to get the nod. But Better Beef winning is not like, oh my God, nah, because I know this shit. I was looking at it in depth. Yeah, Bevo looked like he was in control for the most of the fight, but then Better Beaver bing bang bing him, and people ignoring that. So that sometimes that's how boxing is. But yeah, I had a slightly Bevo, but I don't see robbery. No.
And last final thing that I wanted to say. Normally, this is how I look at boxing. Whenever you have fights that are just as close as that, what normally happens is the business of boxing always wins. What I mean by that is that the guy that brings in more money into the sport, or the guy that's going to be there longer, typically gets the nod because you're more marketable, you're able to do more fights with that person, and you're able to bring in more mega fights. Meaning, with Bebo, you had the potential of having a Canelo rematch, which would have brought more money, Benavides, and you have more longevity with him. The business of boxing didn't dictate these scorecards. It just was what it was, which is
Right?
good.
Ooh.
When
Yeah,
we have fights, when we
it is
let me
it happened
let me just
it
finish
happens
up.
sometimes. Yeah, but it happens sometimes because Bebo beat Canelo like that too. But you gotta remember, I said this going into the fight. Where was this fight held?
in
Saudi
Saudi
Arabia.
Arabia, but that
Okay,
is good for
what kind?
boxing.
Wait. No. You don't understand. What is the basically the state religion in Saudi Arabia?
I can't necessarily say that because
Wait. I'm letting you know. I'm just letting you know. What is the
I
state religion of Saudi
I
Arabia?
understand that, but it
It's
was
Islam. So who's Muslim? Who was the Muslim fighter?
Yeah, but I would
Or
have.
to Beterbiev. No, they look out for each other. The Muslims look out for each other. They look out for each other a lot.
yo, you had one judge from Spain, you had another judge from Poland, and another one from West Bubba fuck God who knows. I can't necessarily say that because I don't know. I'm just going it based on my experience of how I've looked at boxing, where the fighter that brings in the most money into the sport, that's who gets the nod.
Yeah.
Tonight, that just wasn't it,
It-
and
It
we have to
happens.
be okay with that.
yeah.
What I was most surprised, I wasn't surprised with. I was surprised that Bivol got the decision against Canelo. Against Canelo, I was
Yeah,
surprised Bivol got that decision.
he
That
had
was
to
really
win.
surprised because who the fuck is Bivol, right? On the business scale,
Yeah.
and he got it. So
And he won a more definitive win against Canelo than you would say Beterbiev. He beat Canelo. That shit, the first 7 rounds, he won them 6 of them clearly. Like that shit wasn't even up for debate. But they had him losing like the first 4 rounds, those
Yeah,
judges. So
yeah.
this
yeah,
is what I'm saying. But he still overcame. But listen, it's boxing. This won't be the first. This ain't the first. Excuse me. It won't be the last. I'm not saying it's right. I don't think it was a robbery. A lot of people are going to say it is. I could already know tomorrow. I don't care. I'm not going to really be going back and forth. That's how I just feel. I think Beterbiev did better than what people are giving him credit for. So that's that.
yeah. At the end of the day, when you look at effort and look at who, it just feels like it because one guy really he did his thing. He fought his game plan beautifully. There were really no kinks in his game except what you mentioned about the rounds. This is round by round, and the last couple rounds he didn't do much. Other than that, man, he did his thing clearly, and that's Bivol. But let's see, man, as the days go on, what the fans will say, and this is gonna give you're gonna see a lot of shit on the internet. And I know Maniac, everybody go follow the Maniac, the Boxing Maniac, THEE on Instagram. He be on live all the time. He gonna do a live after this. So if y'all
They
still want to hear the
they
Maniac
hot.
go ham,
They hot
go
right
on
now.
there right now.
Better be
But
if it's gonna test positive for Osterine.
yeah, so right here we got basically 3 separate outtakes. I had Bivol, Maniac had Beterbiev, and Ralph had it a draw. But
No. I said I slightly had Bevo winning. I said it's either gonna be a draw or I would say Bevo. But those are the 2 outcomes I thought we was gonna see. A draw or majority decision or split for Bevo, But what I'm saying is I can see why Beterbiev got the win. It's not like, yo, bro, he won like 2 rounds. No, that wasn't the case. But anyway, also, Nakatani is fighting Monday morning in Japan. Anyways, brothers fighting this morning. ESPN Plus. If you up, make sure you watch it. I watch it in the morning. Boxing. I watch it all.
yeah, we're gonna do the post fight for the Nakatani. Maybe not live, but we're gonna recap that.
Yeah.
You guys already know, man. This is the Boxing Roundtable. Share, like, subscribe.